with regard to beliefs, each of us has a bundle of beliefs way down deep inside, which psychologists call the self-concept. Now, the self-concept, or the discovery of it, has been considered by many to be the most important single breakthrough in understanding human performance in the 20th century, and I personally agree. The self-concept is like, if you wanted to use a military analogy, is the command center. Or if you wanted to use a technological analogy, it is the central program of your basic computer. It is a bundle of beliefs, values, attitudes, feelings, ideas, and so on, which are stored away down inside, which are a result of virtually every experience you've ever had in your life. And some researchers say that the self-concept begins to form even before birth. But this self-concept, once it is in place, precedes, predicts, and determines your levels of effectiveness and performance in every area of your life. Your self-concept becomes the command center or the master program. The self-concept, or this bundle of beliefs, then determines what you will say, what you will do, how you will act, how you feel and react, and so on. What does it mean? It means that all improvements in your external life, all changes in your reality begin with a change in the self-concept. Let me give you an understanding of how it means. Here's a very simple graph. We talk about human potential. We say the average person uses 10% or less of their potential. According to the research, it's probably much less. Stanford Brain Institute in Santa Clara, California, estimates that it's probably closer to 2%. But we'll be generous. We'll say the average person is using 10%. It means that in the best of cases, the average person, you and I, have 90% of our potential untapped. One of the great philosophers, Oliver Wendell Holmes, said the great tragedy of the average person is they go to their grave with their music still in them. They're still functioning on far, far less of their potential. So this is human potential. We find there's a direct relationship between human potential and the self-concept. That since our self-concepts, or our estimates of ourselves, if you like, are usually far lower than they need to be, our level of performance and effectiveness is far lower too. And we know that our self-concept is largely subjective. What does that mean? It means that the self-concept, what we believe to be true about ourselves, is really not based in reality. It's based on information that we've taken in, we accept it as true, and to the degree to which you believe anything about yourself, it becomes true for you because you act in a manner consistent with it. You know, there's some people who read their horoscopes and believe that their horoscopes are predicting their future. There's some people who will take criticism and condemnation from other people that they don't even respect and believe that that is an adequate or accurate reflection of their own abilities. But whatever you believe, whatever you accept as true, becomes true for you. Now, we also know that as an adult, you have a variety of self-concepts. You have a self-concept for how you dress, how much you weigh, how much you eat, how well you speak in public, what kind of a parent you are, what kind of a child you are to your parents, what kind of a husband or wife you are, what kind of a lover, what kind of a driver. Interesting about driving. All men have a very positive self-concept with regard to driving. Women don't understand this, but all men are born with an inherent genius at driving. That men are all great drivers. And if you don't believe it, all you have to do, ladies who are watching this, all you have to do is think about the last time you've tried to correct a man's driving. You'll find it is not well responded to. How do we respond when somebody challenges our self-concept by suggesting that we are not the person we think we are? We become defensive, we become angry, we become irritable, we become difficult to get along with. We have a self-concept for how creative we are, how intelligent, how fast we read, how good we are at athletics. And if you practice a variety of different sports, you have a self-concept for every one of those sports. We have a self-concept for how well we cook, how well we raise our children, how well we clean our home, what kind of cars we drive, and so on. We also have a self-concept for what it's worth, for how much money we earn. Interestingly enough, you can never earn more than 10% above or below your self-concept level of income. That your self-concept determines your income level. This self-concept level is called your comfort zone. And even if you want more money, you will find that the natural human tendency of all action is to struggle and strive to get into a comfort zone and then to stay there. That if you earn 10% or more above your self-concept level of income, you will have an irresistible urge to get rid of the money. You'll give it away, you'll spend it, you'll blow it, you'll spend it extravagantly, you'll even lose it if you get enough. That's why people who win lotteries are often flat broke 2 or 3 years later. They just burn the money because the money is far beyond their self-concept. If you go 10% or more below your self-concept level of income, you find yourself scrambling. You work harder, you work longer, you think more creatively, you look at different ways to increase your income or second income opportunities. The only way to improve any part of your life, including your income, is to raise your self-concept level of income by beginning to think about yourself continually in terms of earning more money. If you want to lose weight, the only way you can lose weight is what? Is to think thin, by beginning to think of yourself as a thinner person. If you want to become a more popular, a more loving, a happier person, a healthier person, you have to begin to think over and over about those things until they become part of your new self-concept. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's an essential part of programming your mind for success. Your overall self-concept is determined by the average of your self-concepts in all the areas that you consider important. Now, your self-concept is made up of three critical parts. The first part of the self-concept is the self-ideal. The self-ideal is the person you would most like to be. It is your idea of what constitutes a winner. It is your vision or your mission or your ideal of the very best you that you can be. Now, one of the things that we know about successful people is this. That successful people have very clear self-ideals. They have very clear ideas of who they want to be in the future. Unsuccessful people have very vague ideals. Number two is your self-image. Your self-image is a picture of the way you see yourself and the way you think about yourself. Your self-image, the inner mirror, is how you perceive yourself now and determines your current performance on a day-to-day basis. The third part is your self-esteem. Now, your self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. How you feel about yourself is the engine force, it's the motor, it's the power force within your subconscious. It's the power force within the self-concept, and it determines virtually everything that happens to you. The best definition of self-esteem is how much you like yourself. How much you like yourself as a parent, how much you like yourself as an employee, how much you like yourself as a boss, how much you like yourself as a money earner, a professional speaker, an athlete, and so on. How much you like yourself, your level of self-esteem, your overall emotional feeling about any area of your life determines your performance and effectiveness in that area. Wonderfully enough, since you become what you think about, your self-concept is malleable, your self-esteem can be built by repeating over and over again, I like myself. 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 The more you say, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, the more you repeat that over and over again, the more your self-esteem goes up. The more your self-esteem goes up, the more your overall self-concept goes up. When your overall self-concept goes up, you perform better at everything else that you attempt. That every single time you say, I like myself, 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 it's like pumping yourself up psychologically. Everything that happens that causes your self-esteem to go up causes you to perform better. Everything that happens that causes your self-esteem to go down causes you to perform worse, make more mistakes, be unhappier, and so on.